Hello, dear friends. I am Dr. Mukesh Pareek, and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, English for Net JRF by Mukesh Pareek. Mostly, I ask this at the end of my videos because I'm a bit shy to ask anybody to subscribe to my channel. But in this video, I'm asking you to that if you find that if you are first time watching me, then I request you to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. And suppose you are a regular watcher of my video, then kindly share all my videos. That will be a kind of help, of the other students also. In this video, I'm going to read the most famous poem by uh, this William Blake. The name of the poem is London, and this poem is highly anthologized. And let me read first of all, and then I will try to explain in easiest manner so that it can help some of the students for net and JRF students, because my channel is especially meant for net and JRF students. I would like to inform you that they have asked many times questions from this poem, like a particular phrase, mind-forg'd manacles. They have already asked two times. So from that point of view, this poem is important. So I read London. I wander through each chartered street near where the chartered Thames does flow, and mark in every face I meet marks of weakness, marks of woe. So, stanza after stanza, I would like to explain the poem. The poem, on the literal level, is rather easy to understand, and it is clear that it is social and economic protest from the writer. But the poem is more complicated when we go in depth. Like the writer, suppose the persona who is speaking the poem might be writer, might be someone. He says that I wandered through each chartered street. Now this is the power of William Blake when his usage of words, is very deeper and symbolic. Chartered means commercial. So economy is heavy. Economy is looming large. Economy is having an effect on the minds of people. So he says that I wandered through each chartered street near where the chartered Thames does flow. Thames, is also the writer who Thames is the river which flows from London, and it is the center of civilization, but the writer is putting a question mark on its flow now. Though he has shown nature, streets, and river, but the writer has made a question mark that these are purely used for commercial purpose. And mark in every face I meet marks of weakness, mark of woe. Woe means pain. So he says that when I meet anybody, there are marks on the faces of people, and these marks are marks of weakness, marks of woe. Now, how to make you understand this poem? Have you ever visited any area where a labor class is living? Or say again, I would like to draw your attention towards four small poems written by T.S. Eliot called Preludes. Have you seen the poet has created the very negative and poverty-stricken areas he has created in front of Paris. So I think this London is typically a poem based on London, because he has talked about Thames. I cannot say that this poem can be applicable on any city. Okay, so but the kind of cities T.S. Eliot has created are cities of anywhere in the world. So what I want to convey that if you go to anywhere where labor class live or the poor people live, you will find that they are not happy. And if you have an eye to see or to look into the faces of the people, you will find that though they are smoking, though they are going, they are smiling, they are chewing tobacco, they are talking, they are singing, but they are not happy. To my Hindi medium students or Hindi knowing students, I would like to link it with a song in Raj Kapoor's movie के दिल का हाल सुने दिल वाला, सीधी सी बात न मिर्च मसाला, कह के रहेगा कहने वाला. You must have heard this song. There comes a line in this song. गम से मगर अनजान नहीं मैं, खुशू मगर आबाद नहीं मैं. I don't want to sing the whole song, but that line captures my attention, and whenever I explain this poem, I ask my students to pay attention to this line, that this poor class they seem to be happy, but they are not uh, healthy from within, in the economic sense, that because they have no future. Okay, so the writer has created the failure of government, the failure of king, towards the welfare schemes, for the poor people. And William Blake is such a poet, one who sees at the ordinary things, brings forth in front of us, something which is very extraordinary, which we miss. Second stanza I read: in every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear, you have never seen, man crying. Because man can be, like, suppose man has, that patience, but suppose a man is not crying, but when you meet someone who is tortured by poverty or some other things, though he's talking, but if you are a sensible person, you can find that the pain in his speech. So that is why the writer says that in every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear. Infants are never fearful. You know that infants are small kids in hands or toddlers. They are away from happiness and fear kind of things, but they are shown, like, they are crying of fear. In every voice, in every band. Here the writer is talking about, the poem is highly influenced by Rousseau, and the writer is talking about all the social, political kind of bands, which were very much there in the times of William Blake, when George, I don't remember exactly, but George, I think, third was ruling by that time. And the writer says that infants cry of fear, every voice in every band, Pitt's band, you can search it on internet, that during that age there were different kinds of band, put by people, by the ruling class. And hapless soul, in every voice, in every band, the mind-forg'd manacles I hear. This is the most famous phrase in English literature. Mind-forged manacles means chains. Now these chains can be, here I would like to take my audience to the concept of reason and logic, which was question marked by these romantic writers, because they said that reasoning put ban on your mind, or reasoning controls your minds, and it makes you think, it makes you, or it bars your thinking up to an extent. Okay, so mind forged manacles are also, like, might be the writer is talking about kind of superstitions prevailing in England or in London. Okay, but the phrase is very famous, that can you see at somebody and look at his thinking level? No, we can't. We are not that much intelligent. But look at the level of intelligence of the writer, the kind of understanding, the kind of mysticism in his mind. That he can see people, that their minds are not free. They are manacled. They are chained. They are not open. They're tied to something. They can be tied to the feelings of nationality. They are tied to the feelings of, like, religion. Like, somebody says that, oh, I'm a Hindu, I'm the best. That religious chauvinism. Somebody says that I'm a Catholic and I'm the best. You have seen all this kind of chauvinism in the world. So might be the writer is talking about that kind of chauvinism. And third stanza I'm reading now: how the chimney sweepers cry. I'm also making a plan to read a poem, Chimney-sweepers by William Blake. But chimney-sweepers, to some of my students, they are not aware about who chimney-sweepers were. But for English literature students, chimney-sweepers is a very common term, keep coming. Charles Lamb's essay is also famous. And there was a practice actually in England by those times. And it was a practice since ages there, I think, because it's a cold country, and to make the rooms or their dwellings warm, what they do, they have a chimney. You must have seen a kind of mantelpiece. Mantelpiece is a kind of platform on which they are decorate things, and below it, down there, there is a shaft, and some fire is always burning so that it can give heat. Now, that shaft is not very wide and very big. So these shafts are cleaned out of their suit, and some children who were kidnapped were used, and those children were underfed. They were not fed properly, and they were mostly kidnapped children. So you can understand their plight, that their heads were tonsured. वो गंजे उनको गंजे कर दिया करते थे, and then they were underfed so that they can be lean always, so that they can easily pass through the chimney. So that was the social problem the poet is, drawing our attention towards. How the chimney sweepers cry, every blackening church appalls. The height of symbolism comes here, that the church, the writer has shown the buildings of church black. It means the writer is questioning religion, that religion with its spirituality, religion with its message, religion is no more performing its duty to cleanse minds of people. Or might be all the romantic writers, particularly like Shelley, these people are against religion, the organized religion, because the religion somewhere binds your mind. It creates a kind of chauvinism, a smugness in you, that you are better than the other religion. So I think the writer is criticizing, satirizing blackening church. Appalls means it distracts. The writer is not attracted towards religion. Had religion been good, I would like to give you one example. Jejuri, written by Arun Kolatkar, you have seen that he is all criticizing the place of Khandoba there at Jejuri in Pune district. Why? Because that writer has seen that it's all commercial activities which is famous. There is no spirituality. You must have witnessed. I have witnessed many times. एक मैं मंदिर में गया, हमारे जयपुर के पास में बहुत बड़ा मंदिर है, और डिग्गीपुरी का राजा. And when I went there for darshan, for manifestation of the deity, it's a I think one of the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. तो वहाँ पे that पंडित जी asked me, like, if अगर तुमने कुछ नहीं चढ़ाया, if you don't offer some money, then you won't be able to take the blessings of the deity. So I was a bit adamant, because I was quite young by those days and a rebel kind of person, and I did not really pay anything. But this anecdote I'm sharing with you, because I can say that almost in every temple it happens. So the writer is criticizing that. And hapless soldiers sigh. Hapless means helpless. Soldiers, and sigh means they are very sad. They are sighing this way. It means soldiers have not been paid by the king. Might be soldiers are employed by the king. Historical knowledge is very important while we read a poem, that in the Napoleonic Wars, and the way kings are employing or say using soldiers, and soldiers are coming from the lower strata of society, and the way soldiers are used by the kings for their personal vendetta is an open secret, I think. So the writer is talking about, is putting this whole concept of nation into question mark. Runs in blood down palace walls, as again a symbol where the poet says that the palace, because palace here is a kind of metonymy, where the writer wants to convey that the king, through taxes, and taxes are very forcibly extracted from the people most of the time. So the writer says that undue taxes are employed, and because of that, those taxes are paid by the blood of the people, by the hard-earned money. And so in this particular stanza, the writer has created religious, economic, and political satire, on England. The last stanza says that, but most through midnight streets I hear. Midnight streets. It means the writer wants to convey the secret which goes on in the street in the night, how the youthful harlots curse. Harlot is an abuse. Everybody knows that she's a prostitute. But the prostitute is youthful. First of all, the writer asks us to think, like, what makes a girl become prostitute, and then if she becomes a prostitute, then why she's cursing. It means she must have been used by a customer, and that customer has not paid. And blast the newborn infant's tear. And in the third line of this stanza, the writer says that the newborn baby, it might be like, that prostitute has become a mother of a child, illegitimate child, and that infant, she has now double duty. First of all, to earn for her livelihood and for the livelihood of that, for the upbringing of that infant. And the infant is crying. It shows a very miserable condition of England, and one should pay attention to the presence of prostitution in a country, in a society. It means something is wrong with the marital life of the people over there, and that writer is hinting in the last line of this poem when he says that, and blights with plagues. Plague is a disease, but it means like, something is wrong with marriage. And the writer says that and blights with plagues the marriage hearse. Marriage and hearse. Hearse means, everybody knows, when a dead body is taken on the carriage, we call it hearse. So the writer has shown that the death of marriage is shown, and the marriage is not working. It means the writer has created all the social, familial negativity, which can be the result of personal lust, that can be the result of any kind of evil, hypocrisy present in the society. So this is all about, my understanding of the poem, dear friends. And the poet is somewhere putting a question mark on the marriage as an institution. And the child chimney sweeper, the adult soldier, and the young prostitute are living testimony of the neglect of Christian ideals. Christian ideals say that a child, it is said that, a child in Islam also, it is said that if अगर आपको एक अनाथ बच्चे ने कोसा, उसकी बद्दुआ लगी, तो आप हेल में जाओगे. Both Islam and Christianity say the same thing. But the writer, Holy Thursday is another poem written by William Blake, where he's talking about the same kind of, because Holy Thursday are two poems. In one is in Holy Songs of Innocence, and another one is Songs of Experience. And the writer is talking about how people are going away from Christianity. Though Christianity as a religion, he is highly in praise of. I would like to inform you that it is said by William Blake, though he putting a question mark on the kind of corruption in church, but he never says that Bible and Christianity he has always valued in his poems, in his literature, and all the kind of mythological characters he has created are either coming from the Greek mythology or from the Christian biblical study. And he says that everything is in Bible. There is nothing beyond Bible. So, dear friends, that is it. Thank you very much. Namaskar.